Well, to no one's surprise, the police has issued a directive banning the ongoing mobilization tours by the National Unity Platform President Robert Kyagulanyi, also known as Bobi Wine. This is quite an interesting change of circumstances. For many days now, I've been talking about how it was strange that the government seemed to be allowing Bobi Wine free rein to roam around the country, engage with his supporters and say what he wants to say. And then over the weekend when he gave that speech in Luero that some people said was tribalistic, even then they kind of left him alone. And I was like, oh, I guess the government just has decided to not bother with him. Because why give him more prominence by persecuting him and arresting him, as you have been doing for the last, several years since he became a politician? So I thought they were just going to let him carry on. But now the police has come out to say you are now no longer allowed to continue your ongoing mobilization tours. Now, this statement issued by the Deputy Inspector General of Police, Major General Geoffrey Katsigazi Tumusiime, indicated that Kyagulanyi and his NUP supporters have disregarded a number of guidelines provided to them by police. He said, quote, "While we completely support the right of individuals," while we completely support the right of individuals, groups, and other citizens to peacefully gather or assemble and make their views on matters of public policy, we have noticed that in all areas where the NUP mobilization activities have been carried out, there have been total breaches to the guidelines. On Monday, police warned that Kyagulanyi's rallies were vulnerable to attacks by terrorists who might take advantage of the loopholes therein. And so the police have said the mobilization tours and rallies are done in the open spaces, which are difficult to manage, adding that currently the NUP uses poorly trained people to act as guards, which puts the lives of their supporters and well-wishers in danger. Now, on one hand, it seems rather convenient, doesn't it, that they want to use security as a ruse for why they would want him to no longer do these mobilization tours. But on the other hand, as a matter of crowd control and security, I do think there is a point there. Because even if you were simply organizing a concert, just a music concert, let's say at Lugogo Indoor Stadium or Cricket Oval, or anywhere else, there are usually guidelines that you will be forced on you by the authorities before they can give you permission to hold your event, right? Because you have to be responsible for the safety of your attendees. So, how is this any different when it comes to something like a political rally or outdoor political activity? There must be similar guidelines to be followed by those organizing them, just so that people can be protected and security can be maintained. I saw a photograph, you must have also seen it, of some dude at one of Bobi Wine's events. He was in a car and he had a pistol on his lap. And everyone's asking, who's this guy? Who's this guy? Like, is he a security guy? Is he part of the opposition team? Is he some saboteur? Who is he? Like, no one even knows. We're still trying to find out. Meaning, it's a huge possibility that some kind of violence could break out. Someone could get really, really hurt. And if that happens, well, people might end up blaming the police for it. And I guess the police don't want to be blamed. And so they're insisting that because the Bobi Wine's team haven't done a good job of adhering to the guidelines, that those mobilization tours must stop. So the police guy said this also. He said, quote, "Some of them, the leaders, the opposition leaders, posture on the top of their motor vehicles with thousands of supporters, well-wishers, and onlookers gathering around, which can make them attractive as soft targets for terrorists. We want to continue appealing to the NUP leadership to conduct their mobilization tours in a safe and secure manner." Wait, what? Is this guy saying that they're concerned for Bobi Wine's safety? That they think he might be victimized by a terrorist as he stands up on top of his vehicle to address the crowd? They're worried that someone might, take a shot? Wow. Well, who would that person be? What's the story here? Are you trying to say something without saying something, police officer? Well, the Deputy Inspector General of Police continued saying that as joint security, we can guarantee their safety when they conduct these meetings in town halls and closed venues with restricted numbers of participants who are thoroughly checked. This is what the actually police spokesperson Fred Enanga said. That's what he said. Now, to me, that sounds fair. To me, it's difficult to argue that this is a politically motivated intervention. because they're saying have your events, but have them in a way that can guarantee not just the security of people in attendance, but even for you, the person who is the politician organizing it. How are you going to argue that they're out to get him if they are expressing concern for his own personal safety? So I don't know how Bobi Wine and the NUP guys are going to respond to this, but things are getting spicy, aren't they? Well, in a statement that was issued yesterday, the Deputy Inspector General indicated that the mobilization tours by Kyagulanyi have seen property destroyed and some people injured in various parts of the country. He said, quote, wherever the meetings have happened, there's been public disorder, unnecessary traffic jams, loss of business, malicious damage to property. He gave the example of Mbarara, where someone's Toyota Hiace was vandalized. He also pointed out that there had been some traffic accidents, including one fatal one in Hoima City and other similar tragedies that have occurred elsewhere. Okay, so things are going to get tricky now. Is Bobi Wine going to stop these ongoing mobilization tours? I mean, they're proving to be very popular. You can see how well attended they are. And I wouldn't blame anyone for being very suspicious of the police coming out at this juncture to say, hey, you can't partake of these activities because of safety. It does sound convenient. It sounds like they're trying to thwart his political activism while not coming across as being politically motivated. You know, as they used to before, where they would just come for you, block you, haul you into a truck and whisk you off to a prison. And now they're saying... Now the way they're framing it is, hey, for your own safety, we don't want you to engage in your activism or on your tour. So of course people are going to be suspicious. While on the other hand, it almost seems like, oh, they care for Bobi Wine. What do you believe? Do you think there's something more nefarious going on, or do you believe that the police have given legitimate reasons for why these tours should stop? Do let us know what you think, and do keep listening to The Fatboy Show on your number one station, RX Radio.
RX Radio.